Fetishes are a lot like nipples. Everyone has one. And in the spirit of Halloween, I was trying to find some scary, spooky fetishes to look at and investigate. And oftentimes I'll just type in a bunch of like weird shit that I think might turn up a result on YouTube. So I typed in, I am sexually attracted to ghosts, and luckily I actually found one of the world's first ghost fetishists giving an interview about it. So I thought we could dive in and take a peek to get in the spirit of Halloween.
Yeah, which is some people would be a bit little scared of, but you weren't scared by it.
It never felt scary. It felt comforting, if anything.
And even when even when you were in this all happened sort of in the spare bedroom. That was where it was, you know, it was at its most powerful. Even when it came up behind you and you could feel its breath on your neck, that still didn't freak you out.
I was starting to fall asleep. It came to me, and
what happened?
God, look at the face. That is the face of a man who is sexually aroused in the subject. He looks like he's any second just waiting to come. He just needs to hear the right words from her. I really like how the beginning of this intro isn't really even her telling her story with fucking ghosts. It's this guy leading her down the path of the story like he's writing this fanfic for her, 50 Shades of Grey spirit realm dimension.
I don't know what I can say on
Well,
TV.
you just had wait.
You had sex?
Yeah, I had sex with the ghost.
With a ghost?
Yeah.
I had to take the mask off. That shit was designed for like a 9-year-old's head dimension, so it was basically suffocating me. I felt like I was being assassinated by Agent 47, the hitman, and it's probably full of lice. But anyway, I spliced this around a little bit because the intro is a bit long-winded. In a nutshell, she had a fiance, he worked a lot, she got bored, so she go into the spare bedroom and she felt the presence of spirits, and eventually let them fuck her. And now we're getting into the juicy details on how she converted from human flesh to spirit ectoplasm.
Physically, how does the sex bit happen?
You can still feel it. Like it was it's difficult to explain.
Like a weight.
Kind of a weight, but at the same time weightless, and like a physical. There's the breath and stroking, and the energy as well. I think the energy was a lot to do with it. Do you feel a connection?
I've got to wonder, though, how she chooses her sexual ghost partners. Like, how does she know she's not getting fucked by Adolf Hitler and forming this connection with his ghost? How does she process who's entering her vagina spiritually? It's just a very odd dynamic, but the ghosts must be fucking thrilled. It's gotta be boring as shit being a ghost, only being able to move chairs and knock over vases at 3 a.m. To be able to go and just fully penetrate this woman who's more than willing and consenting to it, that's gotta be such a treat to Danny Phantom's universe over there on the other side of the spirit world, the ghost zone.
And does a sexual experience with a ghost end in orgasm?
For me, yeah.
Right, gosh, so wow.
And fan for the ghost?
I just hope so.
Well, I can't say for sure if the ghost's orgasm, but I can tell you this co-host here looks like he's about to.
Then after that relationship ended, I mean, there have been many other spirits that have come to visit you.
I've been, yeah.
And some have lasted sort of one time, but some have lasted a little bit longer.
This is why I think it's a little dangerous what she's doing. She's teaching these ghosts that it's possible for them to fuck us. She's basically the slutty teacher in all the porn films that's teaching the students how sex works, but on a larger scale and a very different clientele with these spirits. Eventually, they're going to want more than just her, and she already admits that she's ended sexual relations with a lot of the spirits. That means they're going to be seeking out other pussies and buttholes to come after. Rest in peace, anyone that sleeps on their stomach. You're going to have to start putting duct tape on your asshole, or else you might be visited by a ghost rapist, all because she's teaching them exactly how it works.
Yeah. Are they very different sorts of relationships? Have they got different energies?
Yeah, you can always feel a difference. The same just with a human, I guess. You can just feel different presences,
So
different personalities.
it's not the same one coming back 20 times?
No, it's often different ones.
But how do you know that? You can't see the ghost, you can't verify that, you can't even ask for their ID. Maybe you're getting fucked by underage ghosts, and now you're going to be in trouble with the law.
I would never, I've got no interest in men now.
Well, what about children? Because that surely is not possible.
I don't know, I've done actually a bit of research into phantom pregnancies recently.
Yeah, I'm sure that research field is pretty sound, scientifically speaking. Phantom pregnancy. That's cutting-edge science right there, cutting-edge research. Probably something she found in one of the anti-vax Facebook groups, I'm sure. But it is an interesting thought to think about. Could you get fucked by a ghost and have a child? Probably not. I imagine if such a thing was possible where she's actually getting fucked by ghosts and they're also not sterile, what would happen is the pregnancy would be kind of like a queef. So maybe she does go 9 months and then lets out like a puff of air. And maybe to the human eye, it's just a queef, but in the spirit realm, It's perhaps a baby, kind of like in Dragon Ball Z when Gotenks and Trunks fuse together and they like spit out those little ghosts of themselves with one of their attacks that explode. Maybe that, possibly, but I don't know. I would have to look into the research from phantom pregnancy experts.
Which I know sounds
Phantom
ridiculous.
pregnancy doesn't mean you have a phantom.
It doesn't, but actually, there's case studies where people have done a bit of research, and there's... I'm trying to think how to explain.
Yeah.
But there is sort of possibilities that it could actually be maybe the ghost of a child within you, but people don't know how to carry it on to full-time kind of thing. But
I don't want to be the one to tell you Santa Claus isn't real, but I think it's important we rip this Band-Aid off. You will never be the mother to a phantom child like this. I don't think that's how it works. Even if the dimensional barrier is a bit weak around your vagina so ghosts are able to actually fuck you, I think that dimensional barrier is probably the ultimate condom, meaning they will never successfully ghost bust in you and get a child in there. Just, I don't think that would work, but again, I'd have to check what the experts are saying.
Could be explained by sleep paralysis, which is just in those early moments of sleep where you're conscious but your subconscious takes over, and many people describe sexual feelings that happen, that it could be that. Could that be a possibility or not?
I don't think so, because my first ghost used to follow me around the house and kind of lure me in.
Well, you can't argue with that defense. To be fair, I don't think it'd be sleep paralysis either. I also just think it's straight fantasy, but I could be totally wrong. Maybe a highly professional team of paranormal investigators will visit her house at some point and find her levitating 2 feet over her bed, legs behind her head and eyes rolled back doing an ahigo face. There's no telling in this crazy world we live in.
Ideally, I'd like to find one that I would like to settle down with and spend the rest of my life with, but I'll never go back to men.
Waiting for Mr. Right.
I'd say that's pretty noble. She's just waiting for the right ghost to come penetrate her. Hopefully Mr. Rogers can get his dick in there so she can feel the positive energy from Mr. Rogers and maybe they can live happily ever after, both in the human and spirit dimension. A very interesting story, one that really kind of encapsulates the entire feel of Halloween. So just something to really kick off the season nicely as Halloween is approaching. That's it, everyone. See ya.